Okay, there we go. Hey, Kristen. Hey, guys.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Hey, Keela. Hello. How are you?
Well, hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you. You were sideways there for a minute. There you are.
There we go. Yeah, for some reason, my laptop decided it didn't want to work this evening. So I'm like, what in the world is not connecting? So I'm like, we'll play it however we got to play it.
Well, one thing I'll tell you is you can't do Instagram lives on your laptop.
Okay.
So that's probably why it wouldn't connect for you.
I mean,
They haven't made that capability yet. So we're still doing it from our cell phones.
okay.
How are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Look, I just looked at I was looking over when you signed up January 24th, and I just realized that we're almost neighbors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're in North Chesterfield. I'm in Chesterfield as well. I was like, what? She's right down the road.
Yeah.
We could have did this face to face.
You probably could have. That would have been great.
I wasn't even thinking. I could have shot you the address. You could have came right on over, and we could have did this interview face to face. Look, we know for next time.
Next time, right? We'll get it.
Yes, ma'am. So you guys are live tonight. I'm excited about this because I have not done any research whatsoever on her business. You guys know I don't do that because I like the surprises on the live. So the name of Miss Andrea Butler's business is the Becoming Woman's Network LLC. That's why I didn't do any research because I ain't need to. The name alone lets me know that she's got an awesome business. So now, okay. Yes. So with that being said, we're gonna get into this interview because I want to learn all about your business, and it's super cool now that I know you're right down the street. It is super, super cool. So you guys, the name of the company again is the Becoming Women's Network LLC. So let's dive into this because I'm excited. Anything to do with women, I get so excited. Like last night, my live, the sign language interpreters last night, I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh. I was trying not to focus on the one doing the sign language and focus on the young lady I was interviewing. But it was hard because I was like, girl, her fingers are moving. I mean, she did an amazing job.
It's usually very to not focus in on that.
Yeah, it was very hard, but I worked it out. Oh no, we got the ring of death. Not already.
Not the ring of death.
Yes. Okay, so tonight's all about you. So when did you start your business? What made you start this business?
So this has been a journey of a business, let's put it that way. So I guess started doing something similar maybe about almost over 20 years ago now.
Wow.
So I was doing my just started kind of a hodgepodge type of thing. Go to my background. So I am a domestic violence survivor, and out of that, I end up in a place where I end up moving back home with my mom, 2 kids, just trying to figure life out. And
yes, ma'am.
In the process of that, I would say God put people in my life for me for him to start me on that journey. And so even before that, I had a friend, we were stationed together. So I'm also ex-military, I was in the Army. And a friend of mine, not knowing what was going on at the time in my life, she sent me this letter that I still have. This is 1991. And she sent me this letter, and in it, she said, she sent me this scripture from Corinthians that says basically is that after you have gone through what you've gone through, that the purpose for the things that you were going through was not so much for me, but it's for those that would come into my life at a later time. And so through that, I started working at this one job. And while I was there, I ran into an old friend of mine, and not knowing, we started connected, found out that she was in an abusive situation. And I helped her get out of that. She came and stayed with me till she got on her feet, then she moved. And then the church we were going to was working. I got a young lady a job at the place where I was working. She came, and she was also a single parent, and she overdosed. And she called me, and she was just like, she called me at work, and she was supposed to be at work. And I'm like, where are you? And she's like, don't be mad at me. I did something stupid. And I was like, what did you do? And she's like, please don't be mad. Take care of my kids. And I was like, what did you do? And this is before cell phones, and just trying to, we finally got to her. They were able to, pump her stomach and all this other stuff. And, just all of these people that God put in my life at that point in time was kind of putting me on that direction of what she wrote to me in that scripture about once you've gone through. And I'm like, I'm in a place of brokenness myself. I don't have my own house. I've got my 2 kids. I'm still in a daze of what had happened to me in my life. And so not really knowing fully, we moved here to Virginia, and same thing. End up being homeless, and just a whole lot of different things that happened. So like I said, this has been a journey of getting where I am, of these women that have been placed in my life and in my pathway, to begin to reach out to them. And I used to have a home Bible study, and I wrote my first book just out of that study, called Becoming a Woman God Can Use. And this is where the Becoming a Woman's Network started, of helping these women kind of find their place, find out what they wanted to do with their life, how to pursue a passion, not really understanding their place of brokenness, and how they could still use that broken place and move forward in brokenness to become whole, and that God can still use them even while they're broken. A chipped cup can still hold water. So even though you may be a little chipped up and broken and bruised and battered, you can still be used. You still have purpose. You still can give back to others, even in that place of brokenness. And that's where I was. And I saw that even in that place, I was still being used. And this is kind of where this happened. And I have 2 daughters, and as they got older, friends will call me, and I was like, hey, so-and-so gave me a number to call you because you can talk to me about this, and you understand this. And my house became this place of these young women coming into my home. I fed them, we counseled, we talked, I cried with them, prayed with them. And, and it's still, this is where kind of that building block of the Becoming Woman's Network kind of came about. And that my heart for women, especially who, like me, who was broken, who didn't really understand why certain things happen in life, but then recognizing that even, like I said, even in brokenness, you can still be used, and that God still wants you to become that woman, that you still have purpose, you still have a destiny, there's still lives that you can touch, you still can make impact even when you're broken. And this is kind of where this whole journey started. I have been counseling and coaching young women for years. And about 4 or 5 years ago, my youngest daughter said, they have things called life coaches that you can get paid to do this. And I was like, really? I just like helping people. And so that's kind of where we went, and it actually became a business. And that's primarily what I do. I became certified as a life coach. I speak at women's conferences, workshops, shelters, wherever you want me to show up. I just have a heart for those who are wounded and broken to say, look, you can still have purpose even in brokenness. And so
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what the Women's Network is all about. This is what we do.
I love it. So within your network, what type of services do you offer? In case we have some folks, listening. Good Hair, Good Body said, wow. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me read from my cell phone. She said, wow, that's holistic and inpatient and outpatient therapy. Ragamuffin said, sometimes we help even more when we're broken. Kristen, I know that all too well. Another young lady said, amen. I can relate, would love to support and encourage women. Been there. Oh, Good Hair, Good Body. I'm not paying attention to those typos, girl. I make enough of them myself, so we're not worried about the typos. But if a young lady was in need, and she heard about you, maybe from a friend, what could she expect as far as what do you offer, everything that you offer?
So first we'll do a needs assessment. One of my day jobs, actually, I work in social services, so that's my day job.
Oh my gosh, a social worker too. My heart.
That's my day job. So one of the things, depending on where that person is, basically, trying to connect it with services, see what it is that they need, find out, exactly what, like I said, do a needs assessment. What is it that you actually need? Because I may say, this is what I think you need, but not necessarily what they actually need.
Right.
So sitting down, talking with them, like I said, I do coaching as well. What is it that they need? Do they need shelter? One of our goals, we also have a foundation that we are working on. My youngest daughter and I, that Become a Woman's Foundation. And the goal of that foundation is to help those aging out of foster care, but also those in underserved communities, usually women between the ages of 16 to 25. But I've also worked with older women as well. But the goal is, again, to eventually to have a shelter for them, more transitional, getting them connected to services. A lot of young women in foster care or children in foster care, as a rule, because they get moved around so much, they a lot of times fall through the cracks of education.
Yes.
They may not have the educational skills that they need, and the ones that may have the drive in spite of their situation or despite their situations may not understand, I want to go to college, or maybe I just want to go to trade school. So what is it that they need? And so that's something that we are working on right now. Financial literacy, like I said, my kids, they're young adults, and they was like, okay, I have an adult question, balancing my checkbook. I got this letter. What does this mean?
Right.
Those kind of things, to still have that connection to say, hey, you may just need an adult. I've got a lot of work children, I call them. They're young adults. They're like, I don't understand this. I'm like, but you got parents. And they're like, and so they come to me with parenting stuff, financial questions. I don't understand this letter that I got from this place. I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about this? I'm just a resource of information, connecting to schools, connecting to work, finding jobs, job skills, how to interview, different things like that. So like I said, just finding out exactly what they need. I'm working also in connecting with some businesses to say, hey, I've got this person, they're coming through me, can you hire them, because they need a job.
Right.
So, various things like that. And so really wanting to work with the community to get these young people connected. A lot of times I find that people of color, a lot of times we don't like to bring strangers into our homes for whatever reason. I don't want the strangers in my house.
It's just funny like that.
Yeah, I've taken in exchange students and different things like, over the course of my life, and just being able to learn and the different cultures and different things like that. But being able to even have safe homes where you've got a spare bedroom, of course, we will screen you and different things like that to make sure that, but that's kind of one of the process as we're working on building and getting this home together. Maybe they may be similar to the Underground Railroad, where they had safe homes, safe passages that, I can stay here for a period of time, and we will work with these homes just like they do with exchange students, where they may come for a period of time and being able to come and have a safe space until they're able to move on to something that's better. So these are kind of some of the thoughts that I'm still working through as we're building this foundation. But that's really what we do. We also have a women's conference.
My gosh, I'm so excited. This is so exciting. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm a foster kid.
Oh.
So I know all too well about bouncing from, home to home until I was emancipated when I was 15. So what you're doing, oh my God, thank you so much. Because now I'm 49. When I was in the foster care system, we didn't have anything like this. We got out of foster care at 8. Well, not me, because I told the judge I needed to be emancipated. The foster care situation was not for me. There were things going on in the foster home that I had to report. And so I told the judge, I need out, and he was like, well, he said, get a job, prove to me, and come back in 30 days, prove to me that you can support yourself. You can, find somewhere to live, you can get a job, whatever. I was blessed because my last social worker, all my social workers, because I went through a lot of social workers because I didn't like them. They didn't have my best interest at heart. They weren't us. They were all white social workers, and they did not care. It was just a paycheck to them. And I found a Black social worker. She was my last social worker. And baby, when I tell you she worked so hard for me, and in 30 days, I had a job. She had set me up in it was an old Victorian home. And what they did was rent out the rooms. And I was able to get in there, rent a room. We shared, the bathroom and the kitchen and stuff like that. But I was, I had a good social worker, and she helped me a lot. So I'm telling you now, thank you for being a social worker, because you guys are needed. Social workers that look like us are needed. And when I don't know about the, how it is now, but when I was growing up, there wasn't many Black social workers in my area. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a social worker, and now, willing to put together a group home for, girl, you're going to have me crying on this. Kristen, she about to make me cry. Because people don't understand how vital Black social workers are. You guys are so needed, and you need raises. My social worker used to always say that, girl, I need a pay raise. I'm like, yes, you do, because she did a lot of stuff off the clock. She did a lot of stuff for me off the clock, and I can't remember her name to save my life, but she saved my life. She really did. So thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you for giving back to us who need you. Girl, what you're doing is absolutely amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. It's amazing. I'm trying not to cry. Because, wait a minute, Kristen said something. Hold on. You literally address each level of human need based on Maslow's theory. That is what Kristen just said. Good social workers really do save lives. She's a RN, so she works with social workers, in the hospital and stuff. So yes, girl, thank you. Just, oh my goodness.
The
Thank you
need for
so.
social workers, you're welcome. The need for social workers are great, in particular in Richmond. I mean, just, in the social service arena, the shortage is there, and it is, the caseloads are high, and
Yeah.
and then sometimes I believe, just based on that, the connectivity doesn't always get a chance to be there because there's just so many, and
Yeah.
you see the growing need, that is there, and being able to reach and connect when you're having 1,000 or whatever, you it's just not, that connectivity cannot be there for you to step in and to be what you want to do, and your heart breaks,
Yeah.
for families, and I worked in a group home a while back, and just these young girls, that they, to be as young as they were, the things that they had experienced, and being able to, and the lack of them seeing a future,
Mm-hmm.
was heartbreaking for me.
Yeah.
And and being able to sit down and share with them my story, of I didn't grow up in America, and the things that they experience, and just sharing my life. And I told them it's all about decision, it's all about choices.
Yeah.
And I shared it. I remember sitting down with them one day, and we were talking, and they was like, well, this person looked at me, and this person said this, and this person did. And I said, I'm gonna say something to you. Let's look at this story. You're standing on the edge of the sidewalk, and somebody bounces into you, and you almost fall off the edge. And I said, what would you do? I'm gonna punch them. I said, but you turn around and that person is blind. What are you gonna do? Oh, well, they didn't see me. Exactly. I said, just because somebody has sight doesn't mean they can see. I said,
Right.
because we all have wounds that sometimes blind us to seeing other people, and we are blinded by our pain. And so I may bounce into you because of my pain, and it's not that I have any bad intentions towards you.
Right.
It's just that I have a pain, and my pain happens to bounce against your pain, and so then you react and I react. And and I said, so you have a choice in that moment, just like you had a choice when you turn around and realize that person was blind. You made a different decision than if they could actually see. And I said, the same thing, it works the same way. You have a conscious decision every time somebody bounces into you. You have a choice. Can I recognize that this person just happens to be blind, just like I am, and I didn't see you? And it's not about that they actually intended to cause harm, is they didn't see you. And I said, I want you to think about that in every interaction that you have. My pain and your pain, I can't see you because I'm
Right.
blinded by it. And so that was one of the greatest takeaways that I think I was able to share with these young women in the group home, was the fact that, everyone is blinded by pain. And I said, and the greater your pain, the less likely you are to see when you are in more pain. And I said, that's for everyone, whether they're adults or they're a child. If
Right.
I'm in pain, I can't see you. I can't even think straight because I'm hurting. And, for us, even as people, to think about that in our interactions. And that's kind of, again, kind of the message of who we are as to Become a Women's Network is, we all carry a measure of pain that blinds us to each other. And so when we begin to heal from our pain, then I'm able to see, I can see you, but then I can also see me and
Right.
recognize my value as well. Because when you're in pain, you're only focused on the pain. You're not focused on anything else. And
Right.
you miss yourself, you miss your purpose, you miss what God has planned for you, and you can lose out on all of that because you just can't see. And we harm others because we're in pain. Just like a wounded animal would attack.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with a wounded person as well. And we miss out on getting the help that we need because we're so focused on attacking because we are wounded. And
Yes, ma'am.
come to bring healing to each other and to ourselves.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. What's been biggest challenge of starting your business? What's the biggest challenge you've encountered?
The biggest challenge I would say would be myself. Just, I guess, recognizing the need, and like I said, I'm speaking from my own self and my own place too, of building my self-worth, building my confidence, getting into a place where I felt that I was stable enough that people would even want to hear anything that I had to say. And just, it took a lot of years of child abuse, and then leaving that situation and heading into a domestic situation. And so really healing from those traumas and recognizing that God was able to use those things. And as He began to show me by putting those people in my life, and I begin to recognize and then kind of grow and learn different things, learning about business, learning what I needed to do, getting all of these things setting up, getting out of my own head, and saying, no, you can actually do this, and making those steps. I had notebooks of things that I had written out, this even foundation, all this stuff. I drafted that stuff, 1995, 96. And we just really started the foundation in the pandemic. We started building. Technology was here. I said my kids needed to grow up. My youngest daughter designed my website, and she did all the stuff, and she's letting me, help me with all of this stuff. We got connected with getting the legal part of it done, connecting with the IRS, getting a business license, getting all of those things in place while trying to work and do all the things. And, so I think that was the biggest obstacle was me.
Was you. It happens though. It happens. I'm right there with you. Got some stuff I need to do. I'm holding my own self up.
Getting out of my own way, yes.
Yes. Well, you are out of your own way now, and I am so proud of you. I am super proud of you and the kids for getting everything together and starting this amazing business, because it's needed. We need you, So I'm so happy that you got out of your own way and got the ball rolling, because this is amazing what you're doing, and it's needed. So I am thankful for you and the kids. Kids are our biggest supporters sometimes, and sometimes they don't want to be bothered with us, but they'll still help us because they know we're not tech savvy and all this other stuff. So thank goodness for the kids.
Amen. Yes, yeah. She was asking for stuff. She goes, old people, and I was like, I know.
Yes, I get that every day. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'm going to remain old. It's not going to change. Now, what is your favorite part about your business?
I would say for me, it's when I see the light bulb come on for someone, and they get that, wow, I can do this. I remember talking to a young lady a couple months ago, and she was like, I said young lady, so she was in her 30s, and she said to me, I feel so dumb that, I'm just now going back to school, and I know people that are smarter than me. And I said, there's some people who didn't even get a chance to graduate from high school. The fact that you're going back to college, regardless of how old you are, you're in college, you're doing this thing. I said, what's your grade point average? And she was just like 3.9. I said, man.
Just a 3.9. I
was like, wow, man. And then so we started on this call, and I was like, okay, so what do you want to do when you finish with school? She was an accountant, and she's like, accountant jobs are hard and they don't pay well. And I said, okay, well, have you ever thought about starting your own business? And she was like, no. I said, why work for somebody when you can work for yourself? And she
Mm-hmm.
goes, I never thought about that. And I said, okay, on this call, let's do this. This is where you need to go to do this, where you set up your, go to the SEC. You want to find a business name. What do you want to call yourself? So I gave her homework. I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and this is just a work call. I'm like, okay, this is what I need you to do. This is your assignment. This is what you're on break right now. So these are your assignments. You need to go to the SEC website. I want you to search, come up with a name, think about something. She goes, oh, I think I want to call it this. Okay, fine. Go search for it. Make sure it's not already taken. It costs this much to go ahead and do this. Get your business license done. I said, you can go to this website. This is how you get your business plan. You want to go ahead and do this. I connected her to a SCORE mentor, and I was like, okay, you need to contact SCORE and get a mentor from the Small Business Administration. It doesn't cost you. And we would just kind of stepped her through this whole thing. And she goes, I always thought that I was so dumb and that I would never be able to make money. And I said, and you can set your own price as an accountant. And I said, and there are small businesses that will hire you. You don't have to work for a company. You can work for yourself. You just need to know what your worth is, what's your value. You can set your price. I said you can Google accountants and see how much they charge. I said as you go along, become a CPA, get that license, do thing. And I said then you can charge more. And I said it's like, wow, I'm so glad I talked to you because I thought that. And so it's those opportunities where somebody's going, I'm so dumb. I waited too late. My life is, I made stupid choices. And I was like, welcome to the club. We all make stupid choices. Like,
Absolutely.
I always tell, I call them stupid tax. Dave Ramsey calls late fees and all these things. He calls them stupid tax. But I look at the mistakes that we made. Sometimes they're stupid tax. We pay the tax on our mistakes, and you pay the dues, but you don't have to continue to repeat paying the stupid tax. Learn from the mistakes that you made, grow from it, and then those mistakes that you made become life lessons that now you can help somebody else. I said, because if I hadn't done this, then I would be able to tell you this. And I said, this is my journey, and because I've had this journey, now I can help you. Now you can help somebody else, and you can say to somebody else in that same place. So I think when I have those moments of somebody saying I'm dumb, or I'm like, but why? Who told you that? Who planted that seed in your head, and why do you want to amen what somebody else said to you? Tell me something that you're good at. What has somebody said about you that has been positive and good? I need you to rehearse that and not something else that somebody else said that was negative. And, just having those moments for me are like life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's life for me. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look, Kristen, I swear she is talking to me in this live tonight. Whew, it's like her and I sitting down, having a coaching session or something, because I can relate to everything that you said to the young lady. I can relate to all of that. Now, for somebody that's watching now or may watch this later, Kristen said me too, may watch this later, and wanted to start the type of business that you have or similar to it, what type of advice would you give them now that you're here? You've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of starting, and now you're here leading up to today. What advice would you give people?
Let's say get started. You don't necessarily have to have, I was just on a call today, as a matter of fact, and she was like, keep it simple. You don't need all the bells and whistles to get started. You just need to get started. And, I would say make sure that you're legal. Whether or not if you're going to be a 501c3, make sure that you reach out to the IRS. You have to get your SEC first, get your EIN, search your name, make sure that the name belongs to you only. And, that's I would say that would be part of the biggest thing, to make sure that you get that foundation started. Know what you want to do. Who do you want to reach? Who's your audience? What I would say, what makes your heart sing? Like, who are the people that you're like, oh my God, I'm passionate about helping these people. This is the pain point that I want to address. And then once you figure that out, what that need is, begin to kind of wrap, what is it that you want to offer? What services you want to offer to someone. And then that's kind of the building block. So once that'd be your first thing, the name doesn't even really matter. You need to find out first, what's your mission? What's the goal? What is the outcome that you want somebody who has encountered you? What do you want them to take away from that encounter? And then once that has happened, then you can start building, and then you can start doing the business, SEC, IRS, depending on what locality you're in, whether or not you need a business license or not, depends on what it is. If you're service-based, you don't necessarily need a business license, because if you're not paying taxes, you're not charging taxes or anything like that. IRS is always going to get their money, but not necessarily
and if
the locality.
They don't, they're coming for you.
They will be coming for you. So, if you just want to be a service-based, which is primarily what we are, is service-based. You don't necessarily need to have that business license, but you definitely want to be registered with the SEC, IRS. Everybody says, oh, you want to build your brand. And yes, that can come later, but let's focus on what's your mission.
Get started.
Just get started. What's the mission? Who is it that you want to serve, and what outcome do you want them to have once they leave you? And then once you get that nailed down, then you can, I said, the next step is make sure that you get legal. Would be the biggest thing, because you don't want that headache.
No.
And start on a Facebook, start small, and start building from there, reaching out to different organizations. I'm connected with the American Cancer Society. Again, I'm a cancer survivor, so starting with them, connecting with other groups, and word of mouth is where
best business.
Best business, yeah.
Now, do you have any type of events that you guys do? Do you have any events coming up?
We had planned on redoing the women's conference again this year. I'm actually speaking at a women's retreat in October. I am one of the speakers there. But 2024 we'll have our women's conference. We'll be coming back, and so awesome. I will keep you all posted on that. But I'm actually speaking at a women's retreat, at the God's Wonder Woman retreat. That's in October. And so if anybody wants information, they can reach out to me for that. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday retreat. And so I'll be speaking
where is it going to be located? What's the state?
It's here in Virginia. It's going to be right here in Virginia.
It's going to be in Virginia.
In Virginia, Montpelier, Virginia.
Okay.
There's a retreat center out that way. And that's where it's going to be a God's Wonder Woman retreat. So they can reach out to me, message me on Facebook, and I can get that information to them if they're interested in attending that retreat.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan. I'm definitely going to look into it and check it out, see what y'all are going to be doing in October.
And then so we'll have some stuff coming.
If you had the opportunity right now today to talk to your younger self, what would you tell her?
Talk to my younger self.
Yes, ma'am.
I would tell her that she was going to be okay. My younger self lived in fear, just based on my history, and she was afraid of a lot of different things. My younger self used to stutter, believe it or not, just because of that, and they said it was more psychological thing based on fear and trauma. And to see me now, I would tell her you're going to be fine, and you're going to make an impact that you would not believe. So.
I love it. That right there is powerful. Younger self, are you listening? Now, where are all of the ways people can get in touch with you? What are all of your social medias that you're on?
So I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Becoming Women's Network. I have my website. It's the becomingwomensnetwork.org. And so they can find me there on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or all there, Becoming Women's Network.
Becoming Women's Network, all the way across the board. Did you mention TikTok?
I am not on TikTok.
You're not on TikTok? Get them kids to make you a TikTok page.
You should do it.
Yes.
Should do that.
Get you a TikTok page, and I say that because of what you do and who you work with. I see a lot of TikToks talking about domestic violence and women sharing their stories on TikTok. Because the new thing is right now everybody wants to go viral. So there are so many people on TikTok, and domestic violence is one of the big TikToks that I've seen a lot of. So you could definitely utilize TikTok to get the word out, about your business and what you guys are doing and all of that good stuff. Them kids will set you up a TikTok. Yeah, Kristen said yes. The youngest audience is on TikTok. Yes, the foster children, the young children that might be in a relationship that is, domestic violence related. They're all on TikTok. That's where everybody's at. The younger generation. Us older folks, we're using LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and sometimes Twitter, but for the most part, those young kids are on TikTok. Now, do you have a LinkedIn page?
I do.
Awesome.
Yes, it's Andrea Rose-Butler is who I am on LinkedIn. But if you also type Becoming Women's Network, I come up as well on LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
Yes. So I try to keep it consistent across the board.
Yes, ma'am, because that's how everybody's going to find you. It's easy when we have the same thing all the way across the board. Unfortunately, sometimes we can't do that because people have taken the names before us. That's what happened to me on TikTok. But I was able to put a dot in between Black connections, so that worked out for me. But Twitter, I wasn't able to complete my name because somebody else had it. So, but I don't mess with Twitter too much.
Yeah,
so with our live coming to an end, so what is the main things that you want people to leave with today about your mission and what it is that you're doing and trying to accomplish? What is your speech about your business and why you know?
Well, I would say for the Becoming Women's Network, our main purpose is for women who are broken to find purpose, to find what their passion is, and then to step into their position. I have a pastor that always says that each of us has a brick to lay, and I can't lay my brick until you lay yours. And so I need to make sure that you are healed enough that you can lay your brick down. And if you're not healed enough, I need to help you so that you can lay your brick down so I can put mine down. And so I think that's primarily what we are all about, and that you can make an impact. You can give water to someone even when you're broken. And so that's kind of the purpose of what we do. This is what I want you to leave with. Even in your brokenness, you still have purpose, and you can still, a cracked cup can still give a drink of water.
I'm going to be crying my eyeballs out, Kristen, when I get off this live. I'm trying so hard to hold back the tears because I just love what you're doing. It just warms my soul. So I appreciate everything that you are doing. And if there's anything that I can ever assist with, or, you know, maybe you're looking for specific people or businesses, definitely like you were saying about looking for businesses to help people with employment. So, I mean, if there's anything that you're ever looking for, please do not hesitate to reach out. I will throw up a post in a minute and find you whatever it is that you need. And it may be businesses that I already know, and then I can just shoot them to you. The other day I was on a live with another social worker, and I want to put you in contact with her because she's in a different state from us. And you two social workers are kind of doing around the same thing, but in different states. So I'm going to send you her information, and I'm going to send her your information because I think that's a good connection because you may have somebody that may be in her state that needs help, and vice versa. She could have, you know, have somebody in her here that she knows and could, you know, use your services. So I'm definitely going to make sure I connect the two of you this evening, you know, send each one of y'all information to each other because it's all about connecting at Black Connections. We're trying to connect everybody. And definitely keep me posted on your development, you know, with your center or your house, so to speak, because that is absolutely amazing. I'm stoked about that because I don't know of too many people that are doing that. You know, I don't know of a house for, you know, foster children to leave foster care and be able to go somewhere for a little bit until they get grounded. I don't know of anything like that. So what you're doing is needed.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm so glad that you stepped out on faith and finally, you know, just did the dang thing, because this is amazing. And you're needed. You're needed in your 9-to-5 job, and you're also needed, you know, within your business. Yes, she is on Facebook. What is your Facebook name again?
Okay, it's Becoming Women's Network.
Becoming Women's Network. She is on all social media with the same name. So you can find her on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, you want to find her there. If you type that in, you'll be able to find her there as well. Well, I am super excited that you and I were able to get together and do this tonight. Wait a minute. Okay, have you wrote a book?
Yeah, I have 8 of them actually.
Oh, no, ma'am. Hold up. We can't stop just yet. Hold up. Because, you know, I happened to look down at the form because I knew you had signed up for the expo. Okay, so you have to promote the books.
Yeah.
That's also part of your business, you know?
Part of my business. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
yes, ma'am. So let's hear about these books.
Okay, so I've got Becoming a Woman God Can Use was the first one. And then I have Single Parents in Pursuit of God. Thriving in a Barren Place was book number 2. You've got The Power of God's Promises, and it's called Just for Me, The Power of God's Promises. I've got Reflections from a Thirsting Soul. And the next one that came out is called Unvarnished Treasures, Choosing the One Essential. I have a book, Writer's Toolkit for Beginners. So if you want to learn how to write a book, I've got a book to help you get started. And let's see what else. And then I have my book, Renewing Your Dreams, is the other book that I have. That's an ebook, and you can get that from my website. And so that's a free ebook on my website. And I'm working on one right now. It's called Thanksgiving, Not Just a Holiday, and it's about different reasons to give God thanks. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. See, you just been busy. You just been busy. So now where can they find all of these books? Where do you have them located?
So they're on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and if they're looking for me on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, my name is Andrea Rose-Butler.
Okay.
Is the name that I find, and they're also available on my website as well.
Awesome. Okay, look, this has been an awesome live. And I know a lot of people weren't able to make it in because they're at work and things like that, so they'll be tuning in later. But man, thank you so much for just overcoming everything that you have went through and turning all of your pain into good.
Yeah.
You know, I can't wait to give you a nice big hug and thank you in person. Now that I know we're neighbors, we can meet for lunch or something one day.
We can, yes, let's do that.
Yes, I would love to, because I would love to be able to just sit down and hang out with you face to face, you know, because the live is absolutely amazing. But the fact that we're close to each other as far as where we live, there's no reason, you know, for us not to meet for lunch or dinner or something, you know. We definitely gotta meet face to face. Thank you for coming on today. I was excited about the live, but I'm even more excited now after the live than I was when we started, because of all the amazing things that you were doing, and you did not let your trauma stop you. You turned your trauma into good to help other people that are dealing with trauma, and that right there, that's amazing. And I'm super, super proud of you, and I appreciate everything that you are doing. Kristen said it was a pleasure, and I'm excited about the books too. Kristen, get off the website. I guarantee you, Kristen's already headed to the website. her being a nurse, so she, you know, she's about to hit the website, because this was a good live for her also. But yes, keep in touch with me, and please do not hesitate to reach out and let me know if there's anything that you need. I mean, we're global. Black Connections is global. So I know people all over the world that follow me, but yeah, I've got a huge following just everywhere. It's not like one specific place, so we could find, you know, people in other states if you needed connections or something like that. So yeah, and the other social worker, let me write that down now, because I need to get you in touch with her as well. I can't remember what state she was in, but yeah, I definitely want to connect you two, because you're both social workers and both have jobs outside of your 9 to 5 that are helping people. So yeah, I definitely want to make sure you guys are connected. Jessica said, wait a minute. What did you say, Jessica? When Sandra says reach out, she means it. Oh, thank you, Jessica. Yes, ma'am, I do mean it. Do not hesitate to reach out. And if it's a specific thing that you're looking for and I might not know off the top of my head, I'll throw up a post and we'll find it.
Appreciate
but
that.
Yes, ma'am, I appreciate you. And I'm excited for us to get together and eat lunch one day and just chat. I'm excited.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, because you're right down the street from me. So yes, let's do that, definitely.
Yes, ma'am. You just let me know when you're free. And we'll definitely make that happen. And I appreciate you making the time to come on today, and to seeing as though we're not doing the expo this weekend, but March and April are locked in already. So we're good to go on those months. But yeah, thank you so much. And I'm definitely going to hit the website, because I want to check out the books myself and add them to my Black author library that I'm building in my house. So I can add those 8 books right on along.
Okay. And then we'll get together. I'll sign them for you.
Oh, yes, ma'am, even better. Yes, I love signed books because when you guys are multimillionaires and you are #1 bestsellers, I can be like, y'all, I knew them when. Look, I got a signed book. Look, they don't know who I am now because, you know, they millionaires and all, but I got the book signed.
Never forget where you get started.
That is true. That is true. You always have to remember where you came from. Never forget that. Oh, wait a minute. I think there's another comment. Beautiful build, ladies, and beautiful work. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. This has been an awesome live. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. If you came in late, please go back and watch the beginning because she had a lot of information. And some of her analogies, oh man, I've never heard them before, but dang if they weren't spot on. Spot on. So thank you so much for all that you do. And I am excited and can't wait for us to meet face to face.
Yes, thank you. And I appreciate you having me on. And it was just a pleasure to be here. Thank you for joining.
I enjoyed this. Thank you so much. And you have a great night. And I will be in your DM in just a minute, and I'll send you the information of the other social worker and send your information to her so you guys can connect. I'm super excited.
I'm excited as well, and I'm looking forward to it and also for us getting together.
Yes, ma'am. I'm excited. So you just let me know when you're free, and girl, I'm free. Okay. Even if I'm not free, I'm free.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you, Kristen. Blessings to you too.
All right, you guys, everybody have a great night. And thank you again, Mrs. Butler, for coming on today. I really appreciate you. It meant a lot. This whole live just really meant a lot. You pulled at some heartstrings that you don't even know you pulled at. So I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Thank you.
All right.
You have a good
night. You guys have a great night, and I will see all of you guys Monday, the next Mental Health Monday. We're on again and talk about it Tuesday. So I will see all of you guys next Monday. All right, Miss Butler, you have an amazing evening, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Bye-bye.